Listen, y'all, it is truly, truly, truly getting bad out here in these streets. How y'all doing this evening? I pray that all is well. And welcome, all my new subscribers. Y'all, welcome aboard. You don't know what, but I got to jump right into this because I saw something earlier today that was really, really, really letting me know how bad things have got. I saw some folks that was actually, you know, out dumpster diving. You know, people are now dumpster diving for food, y'all. They're dumpster diving for food in back of the restaurants, in back of the the um the grocery stores. I mean, back in the day, let me tell y'all something. Back in the day, when I was in my homeless experience and I used to walk up and down the streets, I used to always see people that would actually, do this until I learned how we would go in back of the McDonald's when they threw their food away, before it hit the dumpster, or even after it hit the dumpster. At 11 o'clock when they were doing their cleanup, they would always get rid of their old food. And people would always, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, just people didn't buy it and they were closing down, so they would take the sandwiches, they would give them away. And then it got to a point where they had to put them in the dumpster, and a lot of people would dumpster dive to get them. Or you could go in back of a place we had called the Modern Maturity, and they would get rid of food too in the evenings, late night, and you could go and get that food. Or you could go like in back of a donut shop, and you might find donuts that they got rid of that didn't sell during the day, and you could get donuts and things like that. But a lot of times that was just basically geared to the homeless people would go and get this food, and this is how they would eat under the bridge. This is how they would eat during the day. This is how they would, feed each other. If I made it to the dumpster before you made it to the dumpster, people would always bring some back for each other. And there was nothing wrong with the food. The food actually was just food that just did not sell, or they just not need for the day. So instead of giving it away, they would just throw it in the dumpster. And if you knew what time they were going to put it in the dumpster, and if you were there at that time, you could collect that very food. And that very food was good and healthy food for you to eat. It would keep you strong and sustain you for the day. Well, now we're living in a time where you got regular families that are dumpster diving. You got regular people that are out there dumpster diving in back of the food lines, in back of the Walmarts, or in back of not the Walmarts, but in back of the restaurants. And they're actually dumpster diving now for food. This is we have come to the place where people are actually dumpster diving for food because we're in a survival mode now. Now we have to survive. So these are places where before the homes could go get this food to eat and they didn't have no money. Now normal families are finding this as to be a recreation, just no more different than yard selling. Now they're out there looking for food in the evenings. Now they're waiting until the restaurants close and they're actually hitting the trash cans and they're actually getting the food out of the dumpsters, to the place where some of the places are now putting locks on their dumpsters because they know that the regular public is now coming to get this food out of these dumpsters, and they even locking that up now. Now they don't even want you to eat that. I mean, to a place where you got to go to survival mode and you're now have to stoop to getting stuff out of the trash can, and they still don't want you to eat that. What do they want the American people to do? Where are we supposed to get food? How are you supposed to make it in these trying times? How do they expect to keep cutting these people off every chance they get? Every which way they go, they getting cut off to the point where it's like, I mean, what is next? What is next? And it's causing people to be very, very, very uneasy, very, very, very on edge. I mean, it's just like saying, their pocketbook is not enough, their money's not enough, it's not stretching to be able to keep a roof over their head and pay their rent, plus grocery shop, plus pay a car note, plus pay all the natural bills that you have, and keep your natural hygiene products up. It's just a lot. And the money is not coming in due to the fact of the inflation of the jobs are not paying enough. And it's like saying the inflation is going up and your pocketbook is not getting no different. So now people have resorted to dumpster diving. Dumpster diving for food is becoming a thing. It's becoming a trend. It's a fast moving thing that's moving through the land. And people are actually getting hit to that now, to the point where in certain states and certain places, they actually are putting locks on the trash can so that they can block the people out so they can't get that. I mean, because the grocery stores, they throw away stuff like meats, they'll throw away products, and the meat probably is just outdated, maybe about a day old, whatever. So some of the meat that goes in the trash cans, I remember back then, some of the meats that used to go in the trash cans still had ice on them. They were still frozen, so people used to take that meat and take it home and cook it. I remember when they used to throw away stuff like pasta, oodles and noodles, canned vegetables that may be dented, like scratch and dent cans or whatever. Ain't nothing wrong with that food inside them cans. They would get in the trash cans and get them cans, open them up and have a good old meal. I mean, you just don't understand it. When people are in survival mode, they would do what they have to do to feed their family. They would do what they have to do to stay alive. And that means if they got a dumpster dive to get their meal, that's exactly what they're going to do. And then when you think of the fact that how much food has been thrown away in America that goes into the trash can, it gets thrown away at the end of the night from all these restaurants all up and down the highway, all over the place. They're throwing lots of food away at the end of the night instead of just giving that food to people. I mean, it's like saying, we would rather put the food in the trash than to see somebody who needs it eat it, than to see the homeless feed themselves and be able to stay strong and be able to stay alive another day. So now it's to a place where it's a trending thing that people are actually going and they're dumpster diving for whatever it is the stores throw away. They are now dumpster diving to get them same items up out of the trash can. And it's just, that's where we are right now, y'all. That's where we are, guys. That's where we are, because people are not going to sit here and starve. They're not going to sit here and go without. If they can help it, they're going to feed their family the best way they can. They're going to feed themselves the best way they can, especially if they're out there and they're already homeless. They're living in their cars or wherever they're already going through. And so there's a good meal that you don't throw it away, or a good meal that you don't feel as though you didn't sell, so you're going to put it in the dumpster. And then all of a sudden now it's like saying you're going to monitor the dumpster. So now that they out there and they can't even go get food that way. It's just so heartbreaking, y'all. We are really living in our last days, and we're going through something. We're really going through something. You really got to stay prayed up in this season. You really got to have a strong prayer life. You're going to need something to hold on to, because it's weird. It is so weird. You're going to see so much weird stuff that's going to continue to keep happening. Dumpster diving is not new. It's just getting to be more trending. It's getting to be more alive and more apparent that people feel as though that now that's the only way they're going to be able to eat, is they're going to have to dumpster dive for the things that they want. They're going to have to dumpster dive so that they can be able to feed themselves and be able to make it through these trying times. I mean, because you'd be surprised how much good food at the end of the night from whatever restaurant that you may be in back of that goes into that trash can in the run of the day. Even Popeye's chicken, Kentucky Fried Chicken. All of this stuff goes into the dumpster. McDonald's sandwiches, all this goes into the dumpster at the end of the night. I used to work the late shift at McDonald's. I used to work closing. And that's what we used to do with the food. We used to throw it in the trash. They wouldn't even let the employees take it home. You would get your free meal during the day, but you couldn't even take that extra food home. They would make you put it in the trash. So it was like saying, once you threw it in the dumpster out back, there would always be some homeless folks back there coming to get that food. And I used to think that was the most beautiful thing in the world, to know that they were coming to get it and to be able, because if I had to take it and throw it out and they told me to throw it out, I would basically just tie it up and set it in the bag beside the trash can, and they would come pick it up. They said as long as I put it either in the trash can or beside the trash can, it was no problem, and they would come and pick it up. It's just simple as that. I mean, it was stuff that it was going to go away anyway, but we have been, in America, we have wasted a lot of food. We have wasted a lot of food for so many years, overate, wasted a lot of food. I mean, and now we're to a place where we treasure the very thing that we took for granted. We treasure the very thing that we threw away. Now we treasure the very thing that we're in need of. And we need that to survive. So I thought I would make this video short and sweet, just to let y'all know that we need a lot of prayer in the land right now for the people that are out there homeless that may have to dumpster dive. We need prayer for the families that feel as though this is the only way that they can feed their family. So they're out there now dumpster diving to try to feed their family. So let's just come together. Y'all, what do y'all think about this dumpster diving situation, that people have resorted to this dumpster diving to feed themselves in these trying times? So with that being said, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel so you can help us with solutions for the problems that we are bringing to the table. If you have not turned on your notification bell, please turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified when I drop my next video. Be blessed.